But we are joined by one man who has very much declared which side of the debate he's on, and that's the Conservative MP, Andrew Bridgen. So, Andrew, tell us why you came to the decision you have come to, somebody who is a strong supporter of Boris Johnson, or was as he was going for leadership of the Conservative Party.
Yes, I backed Boris for the leadership. We need to break the Brexit deadlock, deliver on the mandate we were given at the referendum. And Boris has achieved some excellent results. We've effectively Brexited the European Union, despite all the naysayers. We've dealt with a pandemic and a vaccine rollout that's been exemplary, but that doesn't make up for what revelations have come out over the last 5-6 weeks and continue to come out. And I think what it looks like to me is that during the lockdown periods, Boris Johnson and those in his inner circle can do what they want, and the rest of us have had to do as we're told. That's completely unacceptable to me. It's unacceptable for my constituents. I believe the vast majority of people in the country. And certainly, Esther, what that isn't is that's not levelling up in my book. It makes the Prime Minister's position untenable. And the constant drip out of further revelations are paralysing the Prime Minister's ability to function, and it's affecting the government's ability to function. And that makes his position untenable. We need to draw a line under it. And what we should do now, he should do the honourable thing. And for the good of the country, our Parliament and the Conservative Party, he should depart.
And Andrew, is this just about Partygate for you and the fact that the government are sort of flouting the laws that they'd imposed on everybody else? Or is there anything deeper in this? Is this about the fact that the government hasn't been, to some people, been pursuing a sort of robust Conservative agenda that many people had hoped for?
Well, I found myself unable to vote with the 80-seat majority Conservative government for some months. I didn't vote for the national insurance increase. That's a tax and spend policy that's more akin to the Labour Party. I didn't support the government over the Owen Paterson affair and the attempt to defenestrate parliamentary standards. I didn't vote for Plan B, which is now going to be lifted probably in the next couple of weeks, because that was unnecessary given all the data we had coming out of South Africa with regard to how we should be dealing and expecting to deal with the Omicron variant, which has been very mild. So it's a culmination of lots of things. And ultimately, I think the Prime Minister has now lost the moral authority he needs to act as the Prime Minister of this great country. There may be another emergency coming up. We don't know what it will be, but the Prime Minister needs the ability to call upon people, the people of this country, to make sacrifices. And one of the problems with that is if you've lost the moral authority, as I believe Boris Johnson has, he won't be able to make those calls for people to make sacrifices, which it appears from all the evidence he's not been willing to make himself.
Now, you tour the tea rooms and spend a lot of time talking to colleagues on the back benches. How widespread do you think your view is within the parliamentary party? I mean, if there was a vote of no confidence, could Boris win it, or would he inevitably lose it?
I can't speak for colleagues, Philip. I can only speak for myself and do the best, I think, to represent the people of North West Leicestershire. I think it's for all colleagues to look into their conscience and look what's in the interests of the country, their constituents, and indeed the Conservative Party, and come to a decision as to whether they can continue to support Boris Johnson's premiership.
Very much for coming on this morning. Quickly, though, if it's not Boris, do we know who's next?
No, and it's not the time or place to discuss that, Esther, and you know it. Don't tease me. I am going very shortly in a few minutes.
You know me, always like a bit of a tease, Andrew. Don't you worry, it's not just you.
You are a bit of a tease, Esther. I'm going to Leicester shortly to go and help in a council by-election in the Labour citadel of Leicester East. And I'm going to be fascinated to see what people are going to say on the doorsteps to me when I'm asking them to vote Conservative for a local candidate in those little elections coming up. It's going to be fascinating.
Andrew Bridgen, thank you very much indeed for joining us.